I'm Eric Rezsnyak. I am the host of the Great Pop Culture Debate, which is a podcast. How this is going to work is going to be a highly interactive panel. We're going to talk about 16 superhero costumes. Our distinguished panel will offer their thoughts on the costumes, and then you all will offer your thoughts, and then we vote. So go ahead and scan this QR code if you can. Hot takes with low stakes. We're talking about superhero costumes. We're at a convention. This is supposed to be a good time. Round one matchups, we're going to get into it. It is Spider-Man in his original costume versus Rogue, specifically in her 90s X-Men costume. What's up with the web armpits? Does anyone know? There's a Spider-Man costume.
Right there.
Oh, yeah. It's a Miles Morales Spider-Man.
So if you're in peril, you want to be able to see Spider-Man from far away.
Yes.
Right? I personally love the theatricality of the armpit web.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the theatricality of a cape because he's doing a lot of swinging, but he wants a little flair.
Yeah.
You know?
And he gets the glide.
It gets the glide.
I don't know if you can necessarily glide.
Yeah, he can glide.
I don't think
He glides.
We'll ask your opinions on it. Yeah. I will say it's kind of like a Liberace moment.
Yeah.
In his outfit. Kate, do you have thoughts about Spider-Man's costume?
It is iconic. Drink. I want to talk about his eyes.
Yes.
As I stare into Miles Morales' eyes.
Yes,
right
they're
there.
beautiful
Hey.
eyes, Miles.
It's incredible design. Spider-Man.
So before you vote, the next competitor is Rogue in her 90s X-Men costume designed by Jim Lee for the 91 X-Men Blue/Gold Team reboot. What is the point of the belt? Literally, it's not even connected to anything.
To snatch the waist.
Yes, but it's not even snatched. It's
It's to draw the eye.
to draw the eye. Kate, do you have thoughts on Rogue's costume?
I love a kicky jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her kicky jacket is absolutely incredible. I would wear this.
You would look amazing. Let's hear your opinion. Yes. Hello.
So I personally like Spider-Man more, but I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on headbands. Because Rogue is a headband. And watching this, you might want to consider for next year the worst superhero costumes. Because I was remembering Supergirl with the red headband.
Yes.
And how much people seem to not like that.
As a child of the 80s, it's giving Olivia Newton-John, let's get physical, and for that reason, I'm here for it. Next up, Batman versus Daredevil. There's a man who's in the room. So let's get into it. We're specifically talking about the Batman Jim Lee redesign for Hush in 2002. Side note, like half of these are Jim Lee designs, so I don't know if you've heard of him. He's kind of like this independent creator.
This looks fantastic in a comic, which is another thing we can talk about. Is it the best comic like visual medium or like idea of a costume? Like if you were to make this in real life.
So we're going to go to Daredevil now. It is the classic red costume. This was designed by Wally Wood in 1964. This is not the original Daredevil costumes. I think probably the people in this room know. Initially he was wearing yellow and red. You might have seen a variation of it on Marvel's Disney Plus She-Hulk series.
It does depend a lot on the coloring of the costume.
Sure.
Because you can have the Daredevil costume look just as dark and mysterious as the Batman costume, but I like it when they crank up the red a little bit. Because he stands out, he's terrifying. He's blind, he doesn't know how he looks necessarily, but he knows it's effective because he hears the screams.
Yeah, and all the others, and also the women, because let's face it, he's a player.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about, Bruce Wayne, who has unlimited funds, who has all these devices, all these cars and vehicles and bad copters. And all. This is one guy who's micromanaging the hell out of 8 blocks in New York City. Okay.
I feel like if you go to Party City and you're a little bit crafty, you can make that.
The Tim Gunn of superheroes, Matt Murdock.
That's just my argument. It's very impractical for that particular character.
Excellent argument. Sir, you had a comment.
Yes, just a quick one. My wife and I were kind of discussing the double D, and
Yes, the double D.
I don't know.
Oh.
Right, and you know where I'm going with this. Really, it was her thought, but I agree. I mean, it's like we don't need the cup size on the chest, do we?
These are things of the imagination, Daredevil.
Thank you.
Sometimes less is more. Excellent. All right, let's get to the votes. Which costume is better? Our most recent addition, Ghost Rider, was introduced in 2014, designed by Robbie Rodriguez.
I absolutely love this costume. I think the colors are great. I think the lines are great. I think the motion is great. I would wear the heck out of this. This is basically superhero athleisure wear.
Yes.
She's a little emo, hence the hood.
The hood.
Also, the added ballerina slippers. They're great for functionality, and also they're super cute.
Super cute. Yeah.
But I love the idea of, like you were saying, you incorporate something from your normal life into your superhero life. You know, that might be not as recognizable to a criminal, but it's enough for you to be motivated.
yourself, to feel like yourself.
Yeah, I just wanted to share. We have comments also.
Yeah.
So I think that Rogue's jacket will slide down her arms and hamper her movement. We're going back a little
Okay,
bit.
yes.
But the belt was meant to slide to one side. Mayhaps the belt can be used as a weapon.
Word, I love it.
Why does she need
Yes,
one?
utility.
Do you see the comments?
I don't.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Keep leaving comments. That's great. Wonder Woman. We're specifically talking about her rebirth design. I think it's also by Ghibli. It's kind of unclear as to who designed this. But this version includes light armor elements, routinely features the sword and shield, in addition to the lasso of truth.
For me personally, like if I have a demi cup and I'm strapless, like that's my activity for the day. Like I'm not getting anything done. Just because of just like when you're running the gappage alone, like you could get things stuck in there. Like what if it's raining?
Yeah,
like
hazardous.
to me,
Hazardous.
it's hazardous to not have straps. I personally would want that security, and maybe that's what the cape is for. She's like,
Maybe.
oh no, let's cover these girls up. I have to get things done.
Yes, I love this. I feel like some of the other women in the audience were just like, preach. Great.
Almost exactly what you said. It looks great, but it's not functional. She's going to run around fighting crime like this the whole time, and she's not going to get anything done.
It lifts and separates. It's Moon Knight versus Nightwing. All right, go.
I love Moon Knight's costume. Again, it's a little bit like Daredevil, but even more extreme, where it's like, here I am.
Yeah.
You know, it's nighttime, but you know, you're gonna see me because the moon's out.
Yeah, I also think that it's spectacular. You know what I mean? It makes an impression.
I think the iconography is possibly the most successful thing about Moon Knight. Let's talk about Nightwing. This is the rebirth design by Bruno Redondo. It's had a few variations already. Sleeker minimalist suit. Baby got back. Let's get into that.
The costume emphasizes his
His
assets.
best assets. Correct. Kate.
Maybe I'm thirsty. This is a triumph design.
A triumph.
A triumph
Triumph. You heard it here.
It's so clean, it's so clear, like it feels like just a triangle. And like the sticks on the back, just like a little interest, absolutely, and functional.
It can be argued like when you got a bod like that, you're not going to need a cape in the shape of a moon. You know what I mean?
Oh, the shade.
This is a downgrade from his previous designs, his original design, where you still felt a lot of Robin in the Nightwing costume.
With like the little feathers.
Yeah, the feathers
the
and then like the collar.
The collar was epic.
But you really feel like I'm a big boy now.
Yeah.
Look at my man costume.
Yes. Next up is Wolverine versus Batwoman. We're gonna start Wolverine. All right. We're gonna start with Brad.
I mean, it's awesome. It's a timeless costume. Like it's barely an update from the original Wolverine costume.
At the same time, what are the gloves for? I feel like they would get in the way.
Right?
No, they don't give them away.
He's got to put the gloves and then shoot his gloves.
Imagine
through
the
gloves.
number of
gloves.
gloves. That's fast fashion, and I don't approve.
So which Batwoman?
To me, it's derivative of the Batman.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
So I feel like she needs to, be herself a little bit more.
Like the hair is almost the best thing about the costume.
There is the costume.
Okay.
It's Superman versus Phoenix. Some very low-powered introductions here. I'm going to go ahead and start. This is specifically the post-crisis Superman by John Byrne. I'm going to start with Lisa.
I mean, you can't mess with the best. I mean, the Superman costume, there hasn't been a lot of variation because it was nailed back when the Seagulls invented it. They're like, this is what it is, and we're like, yes, forever.
Underpants on the outside? Yep.
And why not?
And I will say this, I love the John Byrne version because he is stacked. This man is built like a refrigerator. I live. Phoenix. This is the gold and green version. I'm going to start with Kate.
Okay, so these were our high school colors. Eric and Bob and I all went to high school together, which you would find out about on the podcast a lot.
Yes.
We talk about it a lot. I love the colors. I love the hair. The hair is the costume. What is this sash?
It is living. It is so much. It's everything.
This sash reminds me of another friend of ours from high school's mother who told me I should nip in my waist by belting my sweatshirts. And I was wearing those big sweatshirts for a reason. But if I was Phoenix, maybe I would have belted it. I don't know. I like this. I don't love it.
Bob, we have a comment.
Sash is going to cause drag. Cape is going to cause drag. And how is he going to make the world go backwards if he's got all that drag, he can't go fast enough. So, Sash is a tail because she's a bird.
Yeah, great. All right, Magneto versus Cyclops. All right, we're gonna start Magneto's classic costume. I'm going to start with Brad. Where are you on this one?
I mean, Magneto should win because this is the costume that he had back in the day,
Yep.
and this is the one that remains.
Yep.
Right? Like, to me, there's no messing with perfection. Jack Kirby nailed it first time around.
Yeah, he's a man on a campaign. He's out there to change hearts and minds,
Yeah.
and I think he makes an impression.
Magneto have a lot of good points, folks. Kate.
The helmet is so, like, it's giving Achilles, it's flawless.
Excellent. All right. Cyclops, the 90s version, seen in the X-Men cartoon, X-Men 1991. I would argue Cyclops has had many great costumes over the years. Lisa, what do you think about this one?
I don't understand what the strap is for.
Sure.
Is that like, is it kinesio tape? Like, is he sore? You know what I mean?
Probably. Yeah.
Nostalgia keeps this costume around. It was such a moment when this issue dropped. And the cartoon carried on its legacy, and I think that's the only reason why we kind of see this design keep coming back. But I'm a Skullcap Cyclops person.
Skullcap Cyclops.
Yeah.
Kate.
I feel like this is the opposite Wolverine, right? It's like primarily blue with a little yellow.
Cyclops is the opposite.
Exactly, right? And I was like, it's not as good. Sorry.
Not you. All right, we're going to vote. Yes. We have
Just one
thoughts.
thing that has always bugged me about Cyclops is the fact that he has to actually reach up.
Yeah.
Like why did they never give him a button by his hands?
They eventually did.
Oh, did they?
They
Okay.
did give him a
I
button
mean, it's a
to
cool
pop.
design, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
I
Just
agree.
given he's got one power.
Yeah.
And everything else is just regular.
The Ghibli design is the one that gives him the button.
It might. I just think he's doing like a Mariah Carey where she doesn't. All right, Storm versus Nightcrawler. It is the 80s Mohawk Storm. That's important. We're only looking at the 80s Mohawk Storm. Nightcrawler, I'm going to start with Kate.
This is giving David Bowie to me. Also, like Nightwing, incredibly stylish. Like the points matches the tail, matches the ears. It's a cohesive, beautiful design. I love it.
Great.
I second that emotion.
Yeah, no notes.
No notes. Storm's 80s Mohawk, a big change. I'm going to start with Brad. Where are you on this one?
I love it so much. I love the Mohawk. I love when she's hanging out with Morlocks. I like the costume. I think this is maybe the most dated of costumes we've discussed, but it's exactly.
Yeah.
I would say any costume. I'm always a sucker for costumes that are like classic superhero and then regular clothing over it, like Rogue, like Guy Gardner with the jacket, like this version of Superboy. Yeah.
I also loved Jack Knight Starman. That was my entree to late 90s comics.
Applause for Jack Knight Starman.
And his Cosmic Rod!
Excellent. So we're going to try to see if he's updated. They didn't. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and Spider-Man versus Batman. And that's all up right now.
I feel like when Spider-Man sees another Spider-Man, he doesn't feel in charge of that Spider-Man.
Right, yeah, sure.
Where I feel like when Batman sees somebody else in a Batsuit, he's like the answer to me.
It's a
50-50
tie.
What?
Highway!
That's okay.
Spider-Man versus Batman.
Decide.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. We're gonna go to Ghost Spider versus Nightwing. Go ahead and vote. Of your prints from Rage Gear, which one sells more, Ghost Spider or Nightwing?
It's Nightwing.
It's all right. We're gonna give it to Nightwing because we have to keep moving. All right. It's Wolverine versus Superman. This is the most pricey one here. So go ahead and vote.
There would be no Wolverine without Superman.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be anything without
Exactly. Superman should win.
The primacy argument. That goes great for me every time. Really good.
58, Superman.
Superman is going to go forward into the final four. It's Magneto versus Storm, the 80s Storm look.
Storm, you cowards!
Storm, 80s, why 80s Storm? Talk to me.
Because she's not wearing her underwear on the outside.
Because she's not wearing her underwear on the outside. He's pretty good for it. All right, first bet, it's Spider-Man versus Nightwing.
Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man.
And we're not just saying that because Spider-Man is here.
Right, it's Spider-Man. Shout out. Anybody else from the panel?
I mean, Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man. Where are we with the votes? Spider-Man. All right, Spider-Man is making it to the final two. And we have Superman versus Magneto.
That's tough.
Everybody knows Superman.
Everybody knows Superman. All right, we're going to do Spider-Man versus Superman. Who would have seen this one coming? All right, are you ready to put in that vote yet? Joelle is my superhero right now. Big ups to Joelle.
Not all heroes.
Hey,
Yay.
Joelle.
A spider attack? What are we?
I feel as though you are influenced because he's in the room.
He's standing right here.
Guys, he's right here. Guys, right here.
For Spider-Man's gonna win a vote. I want to say big ups for my panel. Please clap for them. Kate, what's your socials again?
I'm on Instagram at GomezRack and occasionally on X, Twitter, whatever, at Kate Racculia. But also, there's only one of me. You can find me anywhere.
Yes, and she's a panelist on the Great Pop Culture Debate.
Yes.
Lisa and Brad, how can people find you?
ComicBookCouplesCounseling.com.
CBCC podcast on many social medias.
And tonight at 8:30, 2 rooms down that way, they have a panel.
Yes.
And Ray, where can people find you?
Rachel's Studios downstairs.
Downstairs?
I-27.
I-27, check them out. I'm going to go spend money I don't have. And thank you so much. Give yourselves a big round of applause.
Here's merch on my back.